Okay, we are live on the War Council, kind of. Some of my normal War Council panelists are not here yet. I don't know if they're coming. They might be late. They're busy with their lives. But I got some new friends, and Daddy can't resist the stream. So of course, he's here. This isn't going to be 5 hours. I don't know what they told you, Longa. I'm not going 5 hours.
No, neither am I.
No. No. But thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I'm just a stream whore.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, I should before we go further, I should tweet this out so we get more eyes in it and not tweet the link. Let me do that now.
Keep reminding himself not to tweet the link out.
Christy gets on my head because I did one late last week, and I was like, should I stream? Nah, and I did it anyway, and I tweeted out the link to the actual live stream instead of the video. And she popped in and she's, "What the hell are you doing?"
I watched it. I saw that on a replay.
She was sleeping. She woke up because she was worried I was gonna get all kind of trolls coming in. I said, "Man,
really
you're
sweet." Actually, though, just jumping in while you're asleep and be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Friends got her back.
She actually came in kind of loud. She was sleeping, but she said, "What the hell are you doing?"
Oh, you watch this.
Okay, in Levon Media, you right away. Yeah, you got right into the topic. You can't just say that.
That's the
you know what it is? People are weird.
Nerds are weird. Yeah. Star Wars fans are freaking weird. AF.
Yeah, and
let's be real.
And that's the irony of it, if you think about it. Because the reason why fandom started and why these groups started too is not just the Disney thing. It started because for a long time, for many people, especially for me at my age, you couldn't talk about this stuff. People picked on you if you were a nerd, if you like Star Wars and comic books and this kind of stuff. People would pick on you and you have to hide it. And they found these groups where it's like, oh, I can be myself and I won't be ridiculed for it. People won't call me weird because I like this. And now you're running around because it's acceptable and being a nerd is cool now. Now
you say about that.
Well, if you look at it. But if especially the cosplay, that helped it a lot. But but now you're running around, with this elitist attitude saying, "Oh, these people are weird. These people are weird because they don't think like me." Well,
and you have different hierarchies of nerdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a fair enough thing to say because Reylos can be incredibly weird, but I guess. Is that how we want to go into that topic, or
no? I was saying leave the Reylos alone because there's a lot of good ones out there, it's just people being people, and of course they attach themselves up because they don't want to. Like he was just saying, he doesn't. They don't want to. I'm sorry.
Look what Phobic said. Highlight Phobic's comment. It's even worse.
Oh my goodness, this is true. This is so true. That is incredibly true. I'm weird, and I'm really weird. I'm super extrovert and basic weird. But
speaking of that, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, in terms of the awesome things that they have done, and it's all over the news, is raising $80,000 for Adam Driver's fundraiser, and that's. I mean, what other fandom has done that? I guess.
Yeah. So. True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you guys?
Speaking of anime, I'm still working on it. I might have to put Kitten in there too. And
I like your little Photoshop work with your mask.
Yeah, that's me not really understanding anime. That's what I'm like, I don't know.
I thought it looked great.
But you needed to put a chibi eyes on it.
I think it's kind of better that you can see his eyes.
My eyes are my best feature. I'm trying to convince Mad Wife too, because she's a big anime fan that come on it.
Yeah. No, Kitten said she'd love the con. She just wants me with her because she's nervous in front of the camera by herself.
Sure.
She'll come on.
For what in A, what a B, what a you know what? I would definitely say that I'm gonna be more of a supporter. Like, I don't consider myself a Reylo again because I hate to feel judged by that label. But I will always be supporting Reylos before I support anti-Reylos because it's the anti-Reylos who I feel are causing all of the trouble when Reylos are just trying to live their best life.
Well, what I want to do is I want to say be proud of your fandom and just call people for being weird in anyone. Because there's always a bad apple in every single fandom, and they attach themselves because they have nowhere else to go, and they just make it miserable for everyone. So be a Reylo. Be a Reylo. It can be fun. The weird. Don't worry about the weird people.
Some people, though, I don't know why we're expecting a marriage ceremony at the end of The Rise of Skywalker, or like some really explicit scene between the two. And I thought that was really far. Like, that's reaching a bit far. That's a bit too intense. That doesn't even sound like Star Wars. But if that's what people want, then I guess that's what they want.
Yeah.
That's them. Oh, bud. I don't really know what series you watched, but
shade.
Wow.
Anime fans I think that was one of the. I don't know if they did, but there's a lot of shipping in anime.
I don't know.
I'll give you that.
When did I?
Robexino.
Anime fans invented the ship. I can't say who has invented that. I mean,
it's
was definitely a Tumblr
prevalent.
thing.
Yeah, it's prevalent in anime, but
Release the Reylo cut. Originally, I think from what we heard about the leaks is that Reylo was added in there last minute, depending on how they felt the scenes sort of went. And that's what the reashoots was.
The editor did an interview.
Pokemon shippers. What?
Oh yeah,
Is that a thing?
I didn't know that was a thing. You mean the actual Pokemon, or
can you develop on that? Like,
if there's a thing
probably
that's confusing.
Brock and Misty and Ash and Pikachu and
not just that, because there's all these artists that draw like animal kind of characters, like say Pokemon or something like that, and draw them as human beings, and ship them that way. So
Chubby Teddy, I haven't spoke with. I didn't know if you're going to be free. I should have sent you a link. He's a good friend.
I think that's a good point, though. What he's saying is that the bad apples seem to be the ones that brand the fandom, and it's definitely because they're the ones speaking out more than just the people, again, having a really good time.
Yeah,
and we can see that a lot just in social media in general. So.
I mean, I'll agree. I mean, the ones that are sitting here, harassing Adam Driver's wife and JJ. I mean that
was ridiculous.
They're Reylos, but no, there's other issues going on there.
When I was following Twitter, I follow Twitter depending on I'm interested or what's current. But after the release of The Rise of Skywalker, I was following kind of the Reylo hashtag, and what was it? JJ's party is over, hashtag JJ's party is over, or hashtag JJ needs to die, or stuff like that. And I was like, whoa, that's a bit intense. So
Second Street, talking about your video, get on here, brother. Second Street is what he's busy, he's got family, but I saw a preview of his video and it's hot.
Oh yeah,
you gotta check out his spicy like this video.
I should Pikachu and Ash. You know what? Rule 34 is the thing, so I don't put it past you. You do you. You do you.
That's right.
All right. Well, I do have an update on that Griff girl. Sorry, I waited to see when Lunga took a little bit there. But she has stopped taking donations for the thing that'll never happen. So that's why she's in the thumbnail. But her and the Mayhem, and I will admit my faults here. I had the opportunity to go up against the Mayhem on Lunga's stream, and I chickened out because I was exhausted for one thing. And then I was like, in my opinion, now Mary might not like this, but I think there's a trending thing to do in these fandoms to act overly offended by the whole Reylo relationship.
Yeah.
And I call bullshit on it. I'm sorry. That's my opinion of someone's being authenticity. But I think if you're talking about that much, I think you're wanting something else from it. And you're really that offended by Reylo that actually in the movie, they're not even talking about the art now. they're talking Reylo happened in the movie, and that's an abusive relationship. And I don't remember who it was that was talking about it, Anakin and Padme. After he did the Stormtroopers, she knew about that. So, I don't know.
I find people saying that it's an abusive and toxic relationship kind of offensive to those who have actually been in abusive or toxic relationships, because usually a toxic or abusive relationship means that one person is going to be less, they're not going to have the high ground. Whereas Rey's definitely, she has her own issues. I wouldn't say that they're the healthiest relationship, but they're definitely equals. They're both equally as powerful. And that's also, I can see why people say that, but I just don't think that it can be compared, especially in a fictional world.
I almost thought it was Ethan for a second. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. And then someone said, do I need to scroll up? Is that Reylos were really mad at The Rise of Skywalker? A lot of people were mad at The Rise of Skywalker. I wouldn't say it was just Reylos. Personally, I was mad at it, not for Reylo. There was a lot of other things in it that really bugged me. And I was more looking forward to spoilers, Ben Solo's redemption rather than Reylo actually happening. So the kiss at the end of the movie was more of a plus side to it rather than, again, I wasn't expecting a happy, everlasting, a happy ending for anything, but I'm not sure if you were upset about it in terms of being a Reylo.
Like me, when I look at it on a deeper level, and I tend to do these things with movies and look at stuff, and there's things people don't think about. And sometimes it happens in these kind of movies. We don't think about the deeper meaning of things. And, while I'm not at all one of these people that excuses the fact that he was committing genocide.
He was a piece of shit. Like, he was.
Right.
Let's be real. Yeah.
Now, the one thing people can understand is that the one theme that's always been in it, and it's what the redeemable theme of Anakin is there was good. There was good inside him, and she knew the struggle he was facing, and she knew the struggle he had. That this wasn't something he should be doing or wanted to do, and it only seemed like he was doing it because he thought it was the right thing to do, not rather like for example, if you say someone's sociopathic, they don't care about the death of people, but there's also people out there, let's say military or leaders, that do things that have people killed because they think it's the right, even though it's wrong. They think it's the right thing to do, but it's not because they enjoy death or they
ends justify the position too as well. In terms of war.
Right, exactly. But it doesn't exceed
it,
but she, with the connection they had with this whole dyad and the force connection they had, they could literally feel each other's emotions, and I think she felt, she said it, how she could feel the struggle in him. She felt the goodness in him. She felt the guilt in him. She felt all that stuff in him that she knew he hated about himself and didn't want to do. So it's not as simple as us regular humans think about, well, I saw a dude do this, I'm not dating him. There is a mystical quality here of feelings and emotion connection going on that is beyond what we experience in real life. So sometimes you got to take that into consideration.
Yeah. And I thought it was a great representation too of even in the real world. We have free will and we don't always make great decisions. A lot of times we make horrible decisions, and we don't live in the Star Wars universe. But to me, I thought Ben Solo and Kylo Ren were very human, and if not the most human out of all of the Star Wars characters.
Right.
So.
And I also because I'm actually writing a podcast about kind of just how romance has evolved in the Star Wars universe with each, trilogy. And we have there's a few things that I always have to consider, when George Lucas wrote the original trilogy, in Hollywood, there were only certain kind of romances and only certain kind of, dynamics that were acceptable, in Hollywood, for a film to really succeed as a romantic plot. And with the prequels, we got a little more complexity with the relationship, we got to explore, the emotional conflict, with Anakin, his ability to compartmentalize and make the ends justify the means, because he knew that this was essentially all to protect Padme. And by the time that we like, you know, get to Kylo and we get to the dyad, and that it was really like kind of like leading up to like all of this, that I just feel like his redemption was really powerful, and like everything leading up to the very end, even the death, even the kiss, you know, as like forced as people feel that it was, I still think it was a really beautiful way to kind of summarize, you know, his conflict. You know, I really do feel
the smile as well at the end. That was, he didn't say anything at the end of the movie between the second, and that in itself was just so powerful. I mean, he said ow, but you know.
And if you want me to be fair, it's if you think about how much fan service was in the movie and how much throwbacks there were to the original series, you know, his shrug was the Han shrug. And,
yeah.
At the end of Return of the Jedi, we had the moment with Anakin saying, "You were right, Luke. You were right." Mm-hmm. That smile was him saying, "You were right."
Yeah.
That's what it was. And a lot of people think, you know, was there was romantic obviously and going on in there, but the big, like her big smile when she saw him was yes, happy he was alive, which didn't last long. But and also happy that he did the right thing. You know what I mean? That he redeemed himself, that he turned away from that. Mm-hmm. And I think in her mind, even though he was gone, she was at least happy knowing that she was able to help him come back to the light where he needed to be. And that's where her happiness came from. And these are all these little things that people, they misinterpret and they want to say it's just, and that's what JJ, I think, was trying to say. He was saying like, it was romantic, but it wasn't sexual. And that's what people weren't understanding. Like, well, what the hell does that mean? If it's romantic, it's got to be sexual.
It was so much more than romantic as well. There's so much, it was so symbolic and emotional on just a romantic level. It was a really powerful scene. Again, I do think it might have been a little bit forced, but even just with that, it was a really powerful moment.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, and I know that people always go back to, you know, The Force Awakens and that point where Kylo kind of like invades, you know, like Rey's mind, you know, to probe and find information. Again, like, I just feel like that scene is really like misinterpreted. It's like, you know, the ends had to justify the means, you know what I'm saying? He had to do this, you know, in order to like, you know, at the very end to be able to, and this was like the most heartbreaking part of like the Rise of Skywalker, was so he could get his family back. That's what this all was about, was it's just, he wanted to get his family back and he felt that he had gone too far. And so if, you know, if he had done enough and gained enough power, he'd be able to save those that he cared about the most, even though he had to carry this facade that he could not care at all. At the end, it was just, you know, he just wanted his family, or more specifically, he just wanted his mother back. And so it's just like, I'm sorry. It's just, I get so mad when people absolutely just destroy, you know, him having any sense of like ethics or really any sense of sacrifice or really not being like fully redeemed, when he literally just almost in passing, like you really have to be waiting for it. He reveals his intentions the entire time. And it's just like, it was dignified. It was never about power. It was just about fulfilling that sense of belonging that he had lost especially when he murdered his father. So it was just like, for him to have that revealed to him by Rey, and then to die and be able to give her that right. Like, I'm sorry. It was beautiful. The worst thing about the ending of that film was her choosing her last name to be Skywalker. That to me just kind of felt like a cop out.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially if the whole image if the whole theme was for her to just, you know, and this is from Leia, you know, that she's supposed to own who she is, you know, be who you are. So it's just like, I was just so pissed that she just didn't come out as a Palpatine. Like, you know, just say who you are. It's just like, if it doesn't matter.
Or even just Rey.
You know, or just Rey.
I'm Rey.
You know, but it's like, don't just adopt, you know, because then it just kind of like, it makes, I don't know, it just made it weird that they had this, you know, very intimate, connection before his passing, and then it's like, yeah, and now I'm gonna kind of like sidestep to kind of your step sibling. It's I was just like, ugh. So
I'm
yeah.
glad you put that up, Max, because I wanted you to highlight that because I want to speak of this. So it's again the hypocrisy of Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. Okay, it drives me nuts when you have these hardcore, let's say EU fans or hardcore just Star Wars fans bitching about this. Okay, and it's a very large, and I know someone's gonna come out and say, "Oh, I don't think that," but a large segment of them are all saying Boba Fett's alive. Well, motherfucker, he fell down a goddamn Starlight pit. Okay,
he's done. Being slowly digested as we speak right now.
Right? Can we go over the slew of Mace Windu fans who say he's back? How the fuck does he come back? Goddamn window. You know what I mean? It's like you find justification.
No one's ever really gone.
No.
Right.
That was just an excuse. They're preparing us.
They want to have Kylo back again too now.
Right. Like here, this is the perfect example. If George Lucas made this movie and Palpatine came back, would the same bitching be happening? No, it's because it's Disney. That's why the bitching is happening. Now, again, I'm still going to say the thing was rushed. And if they did it correctly, they could have teased this or done some other stuff throughout all three movies that made it more cohesive. Definitely. That's where Disney dropped the ball, and that's where Kathleen Kennedy dropped the ball.
Yeah.
But if you're going to highlight just this part, okay, and this is the part you're criticizing, you really need to really evaluate what you want to see in Star Wars, because everyone does it. Oh, this person should come back. This year, how they come back? I don't know. They just do. You know what I mean? It's like, well, fuck, man. If everyone can come say that goddamn Boba Fett can come back from the Sarlacc pit, give me all the Beskar jokes you want. Well, he's wearing Beskar. I'm pretty sure that's not from the Sarlacc.
Levon Media, yes, there are people who still bash Anadala, the Padme and Anakin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they still bash it.
Okay.
Yeah. Just take a stroll down to Tumblr and you'll get to see.
I guess I never went into that territory. It would make sense. I found the relationship as much of a love story as it is quite immature, just from a sense that they're both fairly selfish with one another. But maybe that's a conversation for another time, or we could go into it. Or
I will say that it's like that I also feel was a relationship that was rushed, because it was just, again, like I think George Lucas had kind of, grown as large as his tank as far as like being able to convey a really complex emotional relationship. Again, that balance between duty and love, and just like struggling. Like, honestly, if there's any story that like really like parallels, like, in my opinion, Padme and Anakin, it's I think it's Maria, and I forget who her lover's name is. It's like something Robert Jordan in For Whom the Bell Tolls. It's just like, ultimately it's the conflict of duty, love, like, and ultimately Anakin chooses duty, over love, listening to Padme, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know, like, that's yeah.
And people forget mythology and logical things when you go back into antiquity and you go into Greek tragedies and Roman tragedies, and before that, if you go to Sumerian and Egyptian. Listen, this kind of stuff happened throughout tales for a long time. There was because we think we're so modern and we're so evolved in the 21st century, and toxic relationships. You know what? In antiquity, every relationship was fucking okay.
Speaking about toxic relationships, what about the how they treat their own fans, creating GoFundMe's for things that don't happen? Now I'll give that Star Wars girl. I have to give an update. She did. I sent her a private email, a nice email, and she finally, after people were still donating, you can no longer donate, but that's pretty much a pit in her pocket.
I don't know anything about that.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm making you.
Now you might have to explain it if.
Okay, so comics.
Ready?
Okay, Comics is all about the comics and the fans and the consumer. So it's pretty funny to have a comic called Cash Grab, an Indiegogo. Now it is actually funny, and I think he might actually deliver. But one of the top perks is you pay $3,000 and then you get to be on the cover of the comic.
Whoa.
So eating centipede.
Wait, what?
This is funny. This is funny.
Wait, what? I zoned for a second, and then I wasn't sure. Okay, that's what I heard. All right.
Oh, Justin, if you want to come on the show, I've been wanting to talk to Justin. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, it's a human centipede of people eating each other's ass.
Wait, what?
A human centipede of people eating each other's ass. And
where?
It's on Indiegogo. It's one of the Comic Gates creators. And the top perk, the $3,000 perk, is have your face on the front person of the centipede getting their ass eaten with everyone else.
That's what I get for reading the comments. I'm just trying to read for questions.
I sent
pull it up and show them the image. Just
do I?
No, wait, what? No.
Whoa.
No. I'm not gonna show a real centipede.
Okay.
Which there might exist on the internet if you search hard enough for it. But no, I'll show the
comic book, and they're all dressed, but you'll see.
I thought you were being sarcastic at first when you said that as well. So I thought you were being metaphorical rather than literal. But now I realize that you're being literal.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the point of the all
right, I'm making an image real quick so I can.
Is it gonna be on Paint?
It's gonna be the actual image. No. I'm just gonna copy the comic book from the Indiegogo, and it'll just be 1 second.
Oof da.
And I did invite Justin Proper on because he's a pretty decent guy. He is Fandom Menace. No, he's Fandom Menace, but he defended Reylos against Jeremy. That's why I started talking to him. He's like, you're being unfair. So there's a little perspective there. Snowdub, smash the hell out of the like button and go sub to these ladies, these gray ladies, including Lunga. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Lunga. I'm kidding, Daddy. Go support Lunga because he covers the hard topics.
Unsubscribe from me.
No.
Don't follow me.
You only lost 2. Get back to me when you lose like 500.
I'll be like lonely.
What did you do to lose 500 subscribers?
What didn't I do? No,
I
went. Sorry, go. You explain it, Lunga.
It's because his early videos, if you guys haven't seen it, he was literally every video was going after Jeremy and talking about Jeremy and going after gamers and the Phantom Menace, and he was.
I think I know who you are now.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was.
I think I just made a connection. Yeah.
Yeah. For a good amount of time. I mean, I want to say maybe a good 5-6 months, maybe Max. You were like.
I called his bluff. Yeah. Like he's like, I'll go back to ignoring you. And I said, oh, no, you're not going to.
He got a big boost in subscribers because people who didn't like Jeremy and Gacy were following him. When he slowed that down a little bit and started talking to people in the Phantom Menace, which is what you're supposed to be doing, is talking to all fans, not just, then those people who really hated them started saying, fuck you, Max, and left. So you'll replace them with better people, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, so here's the
No.
You have the. This is. You know what this is.
Nice. Sorry.
You know what's hilarious is explaining the shenanigans of fandom to you guys that don't follow. I mean, not saying you don't know stuff, but you don't.
Well, why is it Cecil Pete?
Who the hell is Cecil?
He's the artist and creator of the comic book.
He is funny.
What's the plot?
It's called Cash Grab. So who the knows?
I don't know.
A meta joke on how how people say there's a lot of these grifters doing cash grabs trying to sell books and these campaigns, so it's a meta joke on that. So that's the point of it. But anyway, so if you were to top the $3,000 pledger, where they said that could be you drawn in there. So that's
does someone want to volunteer as tribute?
Well, it's already won. But here's the thing. So what he's talking, I guess I'll continue for you, Max.
Okay, good. You make more sense than I do.
Yeah, catch us up on CC feed, please.
Anna, that Star Wars girl who's part of Geeks and Gamers and the Fandom Menace, who has a pretty good following,
I know her face.
created a GoFundMe for her followers or people that like her to donate to her so she can pledge $3,000 to get on the cover. So it was like it was a
Griftception.
Griftception.
Did she delete her channel?
No, she took it down. All this stuff now.
Okay. I watched some of her videos way back when, and it kind of enraged me sometimes.
Yeah. But at any rate, it was a crowd fund to fund another crowd fund,
which she can definitely afford anyway.
She can afford it
easily. She can. I'm sorry. I'm not
gonna give my opinion on a public forum.
Yeah,
I don't need to get I don't need to get haters right now.
No, that's fine. I'll take the heat.
I'll take haters later on.
No, I don't want to get. I don't want you ladies.
Just presenting
I think it's an honor to get a YouTube video on you. I don't know. It sounds like an honor.
I do.
It's not always. I have a few videos about me.
What an honor.
Yeah, Max, I have definitely seen videos dedicated to you by TFM, and it was literally the dumbest 3 fucking hours of my fucking life. Like, it was so dumb. I'm so angry that like these fucking things exist. But yeah, so
yeah.
Longa made one about me.
Yeah, I made one about me and him. How we started, but it was a response to him because he was calling me a shill for Den of Nerds.
He was calling you a shill.
Yeah,
I said, "What is this? What is this gray order about? Is it selling goddamn gray T-shirts?
Yeah,
what the hell?
What happened to that? Where's Josh?
Baby?
Yeah,
where's the merchandise?
Where's Josh? No, I'm just kidding.
Another little short history lesson. So my channel started in November or whatever it was, and it was supposed to be with a partner. And
I remember that.
So and literally a week into me having the channel, Max started messaging me about saying, "I want to come on. I want to come on. I want to come on."
I talk to people.
Yeah. I didn't know anyone yet, and I clicked on his videos, and all I saw were Jeremy hate videos with the guy with ass screaming. I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? So I didn't answer him at first, whatever. And I did actually answer you once. I said, yeah, we could talk. And then we didn't talk about that. Well, then he got mad because I wasn't answering him. So he makes a fucking video saying, I think this is a scam. I think he's just working for Den of Nerds because he's a Patreon supporter of Den of Nerds. So he's just working for Den of Nerds to be a shill to help them sell their Gray Order t-shirts.
What the fuck?
Look at your bromance now. How cute. What a cute love story.
This shit that he did is what brought B-Level into my fucking life. Okay?
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Because then B-Level started contacting me about, we're going to talk to Max. You should come on. I'm like, who the fuck are you? I don't know who you people are. I'm like, I don't want to talk to the dude. And he kept pushing it. I'm like, how many times I got to tell you no? Go away. Stop. And then they both get on a stream together and start shit talking me. And I had Max on my show. I'm like, all right, let's rumble. You want to talk? Let's talk. And then we became friends.
Well, the reason I go hard on people is I want a conversation to start with the fandom, and I want it to start with actual people. I want to talk to everyone on YouTube.
That's a great view. No, that's awesome. I think I think that's why the Gray Order was initially started, was so people could have open conversations, because people felt that they couldn't actually have Star Wars conversations without either feeling judged, getting yelled at, or possibly saying that you like The Last Jedi and then getting shot upon.
Getting destroyed, yeah.
That was me.
But of course, the Phantom Menace says we have diversity of thought. There's people there that like The Last Jedi.
But even, I guess what I've learned from all of this too is that you, again, the Phantom Menace historian, talking with all of YouTube, that opens discussion, and that's great. It's great. I like it.
Yeah, and I don't stop talking to anyone.
No, it's good.
No, and it's the way I am too. Like I said, despite tongue-in-cheek jokes or jabs that I'm doing. I mean, I've talked to Mary. Obviously, I've talked to her for a while.
Although you know what? At that point when she came in, I was like, you know what? My apologies if we're going to talk about you, Mary, while you're not on here, and I had my chance, but I think a lot of it, I guess it's my opinion, a lot of with the fake rage is fake offense gets a lot of clicks too. I don't think people really care about Reylo. They just want to trigger that
people
fandom.
Like getting angry. People sincerely like getting angry, and most of the only videos that I was watching for ages, which is why I was really attracted to the Den of Nerds channel, was because everything else seemed just so incredibly negative.
Mm-hmm.
And the Den of Nerds seemed pretty neutral to me, and I was like, I'm gonna take that.
Yeah,
I don't need hatred.
Yeah.
I don't need this in my life.
Yeah, I actually was kind of like a ghost because I moderated like a lot of social media platforms like contractually. So I didn't really feel comfortable, like, because I was essentially spying, you know, to make sure that there wasn't like hate speech or bullying or anything like that, like interacting or like subscribing with accounts. But basically I found Den of Nerds because they just would get reported like a lot for spam, for people doing like dual live streams, like for a lot of the Last Jedi stuff. And I actually found Longest channel because when Josh announced the Great Order, I misunderstood that there wasn't going to be like a channel dedicated to it. I didn't know what Discord was. So I was just like, oh, well, this is it. And cool. And then I was just like, all right, this is just, and I think this is one of the producer guys. And I've just have been watching the content ever since. So yeah. And then when my NDA went up, I started to engage like as much as possible because I just felt like a fucking creep for not being able to like talk or engage or, you know, even tell that you guys were doing a great fucking job for almost 2 years. So it was just like really weird. But yeah, so.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Bipolar Nobody. Thanks for coming back. It's been a while. I appreciate your comments. He says you can manipulate human emotion. Anger is the easiest to exploit. It's the easiest to get clicks and views that way. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. You don't get clicks just for happy content.
No.
It doesn't. I mean, once
That's a bummer.
Well, here's the thing. To be fair. If you're already an established channel I mean, because there's lots of things. Let's say you're a makeup channel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to be angry about in makeup channels. You know what I mean? So,
that can be that's debatable. That's debatable.
Yes, I know. I mean, there's beefs between different makeup people fighting with each other and who they support and who they endorse and don't endorse.
What brands they're using.
Yeah, what brands are using.
And things not to do with your eyebrows.
There's the one, I forgot the person's name. My daughter watches them and they're hilarious. Is that one trans person.
Yeah, yeah. Is it Nikki?
I think so. Yeah.
Nikki tutorials. Yeah.
Nikki tutorials.
Yeah.
There's another one that I discovered where she's super sarcastic in literally all of her videos, but what she does is great. And I'm like, I like your sarcasm because I cannot take beauty tutorials serious. And they're like, and then I'm just gonna dash a little bit of eyeshadow right here.
Right.
And this is the brush that I'm using. Just like, I don't know what that brush is.
It sounds like Raw Beauty Christie because she's just like a nerd and I love it. Like she's just like, I gotta glow up because like in LA I'm like a 2, so we gotta make it work.
I'm all for self-deprecation, and I think we've had this conversation before, so I'll
I think he's right. I think Matt's right.
Okay, yeah, there is some cattiness there, I'll admit. But at any rate, yeah, I mean, hate and controversy sell.
Ooh, I do like what Dart said, because I did forget to mention this channel too. Star Wars Theory is proof that it's still possible to make content without grift and have so many subscribers.
Hold on. There is an issue there. I do love his channel. Okay.
Yeah.
But
he's going the Mike Zero route.
No, I don't know. Like, I don't watch Mike Zero, so I don't know what he said.
I used to because
I did too. I got sucked into that way too early.
Yeah, until I found out that he wasn't legit.
I have it on good authority for someone that I trust. That now he was big already. Star Wars Theory was already like at 1 million subscribers before he made his Darth Vader fan film.
Yeah, which was good.
Right, but the whole controversy about Disney trying to stop him and all that, all the stuff that was going on when he was making it was contrived just to get views and just to get and to grow it.
I could second that.
There is a little grit involved there too.
But I do yes, that was a little cheeky, to make sure that he could fully fund the film and make sure that he at least had like a platform enough to, do an episode 2. And I work in advertising. I can smell the bullshit, but I do love his animated series. I'm not like the biggest fan of like his merch, but I do love like his sense of humor. I was a little irritated about how neutral he is when it comes to certain Star Wars controversy. I do kind of like remember when there were like leaks about certain issues behind the scenes, and he skipped over how there were some issues and some rumors that people had some issues with John Boyega being a lead because he was a person of color. And he jumped over it, even though it was very blatantly easy to read that this was a part of the article, and never addressed it. And so it's just like, dude, like if you're gonna talk about it, talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like there are certain things where it's like I'm not trying to like dick ride. I appreciate that he does have like a good ratio of like original content, and that he does really try to stay as objective as possible. It's just that there are some things that I wish he would be a little more passionate about. Like he's just a little too Canadian about things. And I'm saying that as a Canadian. So
is he Canadian?
Yeah, he is. He's from, I think, Toronto. Yeah.
On behalf of the I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was going to say, the Unexpected Geek Nemesis, on behalf of the Gray Ladies, I would like to thank you. We appreciate it.
What?
His comment.
Comment.
Oh, I missed it.
It's
highlighted.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you.
I'm really awkward.
Thank you so much.
So I'm just going to laugh and be like,
I appreciate it.
Very appreciative of the comment.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what else is.
It's the mask, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I'm back on the comments. Oh boy. Okay. Here's Phobic Scene. Did Star Wars 3? Well, here's the thing.
That's the grift I was talking about.
Here's the other thing. He knew he couldn't monetize the film.
Yeah.
And he spoke directly with Lucasfilm. So he knew for sure what you can and cannot put in there. And he put the music in anyway.
Yep.
So I think it was a big grift and a plan to know what the outcome would be. He wasn't going to get money on it anyway, but he could get money on the outrage afterwards for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I definitely see it.
And it brought subscribers because he jumped up. He doubled. He went from 1 million to 2 million.
Oh yeah, it was like gross how quick that like blew up. Oh my
but
God.
if you talk about just pure content, I do like it, and I think he does try to be somewhat objective with what he's saying, and he does. I mean, in some cases, like when you're talking about the people of color thing, he glossed over it because he wants to avoid that kind of controversy. He just wants to talk about the IP, but he does at least try to stay objective with it. And
Richard Oden II. Thanks, brother. Thanks for coming back after you go hardcore. I recommend you to.
I was gonna say that the music was original. He did work with I think it was like a Norwegian composer for the film, but I don't know. Like I don't know
how. Though he used the clip that's what was claimed by Warner Chappell.
Yeah,
so he had original music in there, but he had a clip of something.
Yeah, I think it was that, and that there was the composition. Like as it like crescendoed like during certain parts was too much. Like it was like 90-10 rule where it was just too much identical to the like original Star Wars music. So they were just like, yeah, no, sorry. Like it's beautiful, but nah, that's not gonna work out. Trinity, that's Second Street Marvel, correct?
Yeah.
He called for a roll call. I am thick ass Boshi. That's Osaka Ren down below me.
Yeah.
Wonderful to meet you. I always say hello to you in the chats. You
I only
usually
ever
don't say hello back, but it's okay.
I know who you are.
You don't
That's
know who I
okay. You
am,
don't
but
know who I am.
I love all of your comic content, and it's wonderful that you're here. Awesome to see
By the way,
you.
this is why it's important that they're here, because they're much nicer to you guys than we are.
All right.
Yeah.
They like want to make sure everybody's heard. They like, oh, look at that comment. Oh yes, this, and me and Max are like, oh, we'll pick every fifth one.
It's
I
fun
did some-
interacting though, and everybody kind of has. I like reading everyone's comments and then being able to comment on the comments and then start discussion from there. But I think when there's just two or one person, it becomes really difficult to keep up with everything. So.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm right. Okay, Richard's corrected me. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought he had original music, but they also used a clip of something. Is what I thought, but I could be wrong. I'll be devil's advocate there. Maybe I'm wrong. I did have some other quick topics to talk about. I made a little.
The coronavirus.
Oh, jeez. Hello.
Hey.
Oh.
That's yeah.
All
I'm really
right.
into that currently. That's one of my topics.
All right, let me see. Well, this is a quick one. Anthony Mackie is not only going to be in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but he's also going to be in Altered Carbon season 2.
I just love him so much. Sorry. Hello, husband. Hello.
So he's big. He's a big deal now. He's going to have 2 series this year.
Wonderful.
I don't have time for that.
And that's why I was like, man, I'm enjoying watching the Clone Wars on Stream Junkies, but man, I want to watch Altered Carbon too, and I don't know if I should wait because it comes out in February.
Yeah,
I really want to watch
He was in an
Altered.
episode of Black Mirror too, wasn't he, last year?
Yep.
Yeah.
In the video game one, the super
I
controversial
really like
one.
that. I like that one. I thought
That one
too.
is so good.
So, man, does that bring up your anticipation for? I don't know if you were looking forward to Altered Carbon or not. If anyone watched it, but now I want to watch it.
Yeah, I'm like super stoked now.
Yeah.
That's coming up soon, end of February, I think. And then there's been recent rumors. I was hoping Lunga might look into that for tomorrow's Sci-Fi Monday a little bit about the Altered
Carbon. I mean, I watched the first season.
Oh, you did?
I watched it when it came out, brother.
Oh, okay.
I remember when it.
I loved it. I loved it.
You loved it? Okay.
Yeah, Altered Carbon.
Cool. So you're really excited now. You're pumped for that season 2?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and then bringing Mackie in too. That's yeah.
Do I need to binge it? Is that going to be something that we're going to watch as the second?
Well,
season?
that's the thing. I'm like, should I wait for Stream Junkies or just start watching it? I don't know.
Well, I think because why don't we start at the second season because that would be more relevant. So if we all binged.
Yeah, I think what she's saying is we should all just watch the first season so we can talk about.
I've been meaning to for a really long time. I just haven't gotten to it.
We'll have a Stream Junkies extra credit section.
So we won't do a thing where we're going.
Who's the real binger here?
If anything, we'll like the first episode when we start going over.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we can call it Binge of the Nerds instead of Revenge of the Nerds. That would be cute.
I forgot who said it, but yes, he for the Stream Junkies. This is a good point. I think it's cool with the followers and the fans of the show calling themselves binge buddies.
I do love it.
I think that's a good idea. I think it's
I have plans for that. Binge
Bud.
Okay, and the other thing is Star Wars Rebels to Return.
With Keanu Reeves?
No, that's Ezra.
Keanu Reeves.
That's a picture I found of it.
For a second, so you know.
With Keanu Reeves? That's Keanu Reeves.
Okay. I can see that. But
like how Max doesn't know what to say to that. He's just like, yeah.
He kind of does, yeah. But he looks cool there. That's a picture I found online. And then Sabine and Ahsoka. Yeah. So that would be if that is the next series. Have you heard, Lunga?
I saw something. I didn't research it because I was so busy today with doing my stream and stuff. But I did see some people tweeting about how that this is coming back. And I watched Rebels, And I gotta be honest, I watched it and I forgot so much. My retention's so bad. But I didn't like watch it over and over again. I just kind of watched it and I skipped some episodes, but I did go through it and watch it. And I forgot when it ended. I thought it ended concurrently with like the beginning of the Star Wars trilogy. I thought it ended like before A New Hope. I guess someone said it ended like at the end of Return of the Jedi.
When did it air originally?
Rebels it just finished what, a year and a half, 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
It's again the same thing I think with why am I blanking? Not the Clone Wars. Oh no. What am the other cartoon series? The one we're watching currently.
The Clone Wars?
That is the Clone Wars.
Oh, I think you can talk about I'm blanking. Okay. That's all right. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. No, you're fine.
Yeah, it's a thing. The animation, I just never had interest in Star Wars animated series. But I definitely think that I have to give that a go as well, because I'm already interested in Clone Wars.
Because I looked it up and it's like I thought, because the series starts 5 years before A New Hope.
Oh, okay.
But I don't remember it going as far as through Return of the Jedi. But I could be wrong.
Rebels?
Is there a time?
Yeah, Rebels.
No, it ends right before A New Hope.
That's what and someone was, when I asked the question, because I tweeted out today and someone said it ended at the end of Return of the Jedi. Like a couple of people said that.
It said 5 years before A New Hope, and it takes.
Yeah.
Well, no spoilers for the end of Rebels, but there's lots of things they could do. So
Yeah. And yes, Fanjecture, I watched Resistance. It was awesome.
Okay. I've heard that from a few people. I might watch it because I've got Disney Plus anyway.
Yeah, some guy on my Twitter, he replied, he says there's a time jump at the end of Rebels that's set post Return of the Jedi. So I think maybe you're saying that last episode or two is a time jump, and it's like, so the series itself isn't that long, but maybe the last couple episodes is a time jump. I think that's maybe when Ezra does the world between worlds and the thing with Thrawn, and then because he's technically, his scene in this is pretty exciting because at the end of Rebels we don't know where he's at. Him and Thrawn got like hyper jumped space with the space whales to like the unknown regions. So he's back, I guess. So that's exciting.
Do you think I'd be able to get over the animation in Resistance, Vashti? Do you think I could?
Yeah, the story.
The story will get me? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, because that's just the off-putting thing to me currently.
Well, the Clone Wars too. I know what you mean about certain animation, because I like really when they push it with the art style, and when it more. But they had to do it that way for the budget when the Clone Wars started, and for as much action as going in there with CG effects, it would really bump up the cost if they went with a higher art or more dynamic art style.
CGI. Maybe I'm not used to Western as well, so that could also be the case. I'm a huge Disney fan, and I'm not expecting Star Wars animated TV Disney. But okay, I'll do it, guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I just there's just a lot of really good character development. I really love like Obi-Wan's his tragedies that encounter in Clone Wars. I don't want to spoil it for you. I really love like the Mandalorian story, like that whole story arc. I don't know. God, I'm trying to think. It's the father, the son, and the daughter, and then there's like the giant like force monster out in space that isn't canon but is canon. And I forget what she's called. But basically, like Ezra essentially kind of taps into some of the most like ancient like forms of the force. So I don't know. There's just there's some really cool aspects of it where it answers a lot of the what ifs, as far as like spirituality, like deities, like the romantic conflict, because like I don't know, like I always kind of just pictured like Obi-Wan as like a player. Like I have always pictured him to be just like such a hoe, and like I I'm just keeping it 100.
Is he a hole in Resistance?
Huh?
Is he a hole in Resistance?
No, I mean, no, he's not. He's actually a really dignified person. But like, but
see, I'm gonna highlight this comment anyway because what the heck are you talking about, ER? Just because we have a different opinion, isn't that what you tout in your fandom? No,
bring up that even what
is. I am so far from what is called a SJW. You have no idea.
Is it what? Okay, I'm actually curious if you could state or repeat what we said.
What?
No, this is what happens all the time. Don't worry about it. I highlighted it to show the reality of the situation. When you try to,
what was I laughing at though earlier? Who said if I can watch?
Justin.
Oh yes, Babylon. Yes, thank you, Tricon. Thank you. Yes,
Justin Proper is in the backstage, and he's been nothing but nice to me, and we've had private conversations. So if that's all right, I'll bring him on. It's not going to be a battle or anything. It's just going to be a conversation, I believe. So
if that's be a battle.
Well, I've had them before, but that's not what I want tonight. So Justin's here, and I'll bring him on.
Lunga and I will start singing "Let It Go."
Hello there.
Yeah.
Hey. You can hear me fine?
Yes.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Good.
Good.
Great. Yeah, it's a really sad day, isn't it?
Yeah, Kobe Bryant.
It's a weird.
Yeah. But I mean, we've all talked about it before. You know, I live in LA, so just driving past everywhere, just like the whole vibe is just kind of like, it's such a really depressing vibe, but everyone's also united by it. So, if we can unite ourselves with anything, it's with something that's, universally loved. Like we're all nerds here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You ever shot crumbled up your homework, fuck this, and just shot it in a trash can and was just like, completely missed.
I think we've all done that.
I win here. Something like that. So, but anyways, that's just to break the ice here. How are you guys doing today? I heard you talking about Reylo.
Let's talk Reylo.
Yeah, Justin's the one guy that I know for sure said, Jeremy, I think you're going too hard. You're being unfair about Reylos. And I was like, that's where I started talking to him. And I appreciate what you tried on that first hater stream. You're trying to give a perspective of someone else. And my point is, Justin, I'd like to get your viewpoint on this, that we got to stop saying different fan groups are bad because of the bad apples and just say that's a bad person in that fandom. Because you will find someone in every single fandom and people that attach themselves to fandom because honestly, they're obsessed with internet, YouTube, Twitter, and they just attach themselves to other things. I
will say that I don't entirely agree with the premise because what I would add to that is that there is a very large amount of people who proclaim to be in this Reylo community who have indeed called a lot of people racist and sexist and misogynist for not liking a movie. And funny enough, they don't like this last Star Wars movie that came out, and they're not being called racist and sexist for not liking a movie, are they? No, not at all. But going to specifically the point of, do people like this? Do people like this relationship? I understand the side where it's like, okay, this is an abusive relationship. I get that. I understand where people are saying that this is not okay. Like, this makes no sense. But part of me is saying, this made no sense when people were making fan art about Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy. That's about as toxic of a relationship as you could get. I think it's not worse than Kylo and Rey by any means, but this has been going on in fandom for many years, for many franchises, and that's the only point that I would make. But there is a certain point that there is a craziness to this, and I have experienced this, secondhand. Seeing my friends, who like Daisy Ridley, who have, talked to Reylos, who are just absolutely batshit crazy, so I understand where that's coming from. And I guess that side of it is so vocal that people who are just into the fan art, into the fan fiction, are kind of getting a little kind of overdrawn, I guess, or not overdrawn. What's the word? They're overshadowed in this oversaturation of this craziness and obsession about this. It's unhealthy,
well,
you know.
Can't you see? I'm not painting a broad brush, bro. Can't you see Phantom Menace channels actually searching out Reylos to point and laugh and to trigger them so they have videos? Because I absolutely, and I have called Jeremy out on that. He doesn't care. And I honestly, I had the opportunity to speak with Mary the other night, and in my personal opinion, it's fake offense, like fake being offended, just so you get the notoriety of going after Reylos and they're crazy. That's the way I see it.
I don't know. I think it's a genuine disagreement of opinion. You know, we were allowed to disagree, right? So you know, a lot of people, you know, they think like this is stupid, and they have every right to say that it's a stupid relationship. It's a stupid thing to think. You know, that's what some people, you know, will say. So, you know, it's going to be what it is. You know, and people are allowed to voice their opinions. Doesn't mean you have to like it. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. But the thing is, you know, the thing is, you have to understand that, you know, people are going to embrace a certain part of Star Wars fandom, and other people are going to embrace a different part of it. And I think that's what makes this haul so beautiful, is that we're all Star Wars fans, but we choose to disagree on such menial levels. And this isn't just this is more of a broad thing. This is more of a people who didn't like The Last Jedi, who are people who were talking about how terrible we were about it. You know, it's one thing to say, like, you know, you're stupid for not liking it. Oh, how dare you, you idiot. And then we have drinks afterwards and party. You know, that's one thing. But it's another thing to, you know, actually call it names and make it personal. So that's all I'll say about that.
Just as a rebuttal. Hi, Justin, by the way. We haven't met before, but
I generally like him. He's a nice guy. We've had great conversations privately. He's even when we were heated, like me and Geeks and Gamers and Fandom Menace, he still talked to me behind the scenes, and I respect that always. So
okay.
The rebuttal with that for me is like we there's sometimes a lack of definitive terminology that people like to blanket. Okay, to where, like, so for example, in my mind, when I hear the word Reylo, I think anyone who liked the fact that Kylo Ren and Rey were romantically linked. That's who I think of when I hear Reylo. So when the attacks happen on them, for example, now again, I do not in any way condone the people who are, you know, harassing Adam Driver's wife for saying J.J. Abrams needs to die. That there's something deeper going on there than being a Reylo. Okay,
that's going to be their own
going on there other than being a Reylo. They just happen to like this relationship. It could be any other relationship that they fantasize and will do this. It's not about a Reylo. It's just about there's something going on there. Okay, there are plenty of people who do like the idea of the relationship that aren't these crazy people. They just like the idea of it. Now the issue comes in when if you say, "Well, I think the idea is stupid," that's your opinion, perfectly fine. You're entitled to it. If you say, "I don't like it," whatever, cool. But when you start implying anyone who believe, and I've seen literally say anyone, not just like anyone who likes this relationship is mentally ill. Anyone who likes this relationship believes in incest. Anyone who likes this relationship is
it does kind of seem incestual.
No, hold on.
It does. Did you not see that comic book that everyone is just kind of like tracing back on, pretending didn't exist? That is real. That is very real.
First of all, let me finish this. Okay, so before we get into the whole, because I actually did a tweet today and people backpedaled on it, and sorry, but it's stupid. Okay, the incest thing drives me goddamn nuts because first, let's go to, because if they're going to call it incest, they're going with the non-canon because Disney said it's no longer canon, obviously, with the Palpatine thing.
The Palpatine, like, little, like, you all saw it.
Okay, now hold on. I'm not arguing should it or shouldn't it be canon. That's not what I'm arguing here. So if you're saying it's incest, you're going with what was the original canon, saying that Palpatine manipulated the midichlorians?
No. It's going with the new canon that was published with with Sheev as they call it now, because that he didn't really have a first name before.
Where he was like,
that was under Disney Star Wars, so that's where people are getting the incest from, and that's where people are like, okay, this is where and then people are backpedaling on it because Lucasfilm wasn't on the same page.
But again.
But where's the fault in that argument? Because I think that's very valid.
I'm trying to get there.
Okay, well,
so
we're working on it. We got this, team.
I'm not. This isn't a you against me. I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. How is it not insensual like in the Lucasfilm?
For coming on here today,
I hope you understand if you're not letting me say it. Okay,
go for it.
I specify things so we can be clear on it. Okay, you clarified something which really didn't change what I was going to say, because they did it in a Vader comic book, which is basically what people already believed from the prequel trilogy, because he said he manipulated midichlorians. That's what everyone already thought anyway before the comic book. The comic book just like confirmed it. Okay, that he manipulated midichlorians. Now, if anyone understands how babies are born, they understand that they're not born by manipulating midichlorians. They're born by sex. Okay. And if you're going to say that someone is manipulating midichlorians to create life, they're creating this virgin birth. That's why it's called a virgin birth. That's the whole point of it, that there was no father. He was just the architect of the manipulation to have him be born. He didn't. So for it to be incest, he would have to have Palpatine's DNA, which he does not. He does not. Okay, you can stretch it however you want just to fulfill your argument, but the fact is he doesn't have Palpatine's DNA. Okay, so to call it incest is silly. It sounds literally like the Adam Driver thing in that movie with Harry Potter, where he's like, "Well, I'm not going to help you bang my cousin." That's like incest. He's like, "But we're not related, but you're my best friend, so it's like you're trying to." It's like incest, which is silly.
Incestually bang my cousin. That movie, What If? That was a good movie.
Yes, it was a great movie. But again, you see the humor in that is because it's stupid. Okay, because obviously she's not related to him. Okay?
No, I see the humor in it because it's funny, and it's funny in the moment. But I understand why people would think the way that works when they're manipulating the midichlorians, because like that's a part of him, I guess. I don't know. That's one of those things that doesn't particularly bother me, but it bothers other people, and I understand why it bothers people. And I'm not in the game to say that your argument is wrong or anything. I understand where you're coming from, and I understand where other people are coming from when they're saying that seems essential, where like Palpatine is essentially his father. What's the alternative? Like he's the Jesus Christ baby of this entire franchise. That's a concept that George came up with that is ridiculous in its own right, but it does make sense. But at the same time, it's weird. It's just weird.
Hey, but it's weird because
I get it, and I understand both sides. So
it's weird because of the hangups. And when people have hangups, they try to find a rational reason to make their side right. Okay, and to call it incest,
not unlike you're trying to come up with a rational reason why your side is right.
No,
is that
I'm
not true?
I am saying
you're trying to come up with an irrational reason.
No, I'm not. I'm saying
I'm just messing with you. All right.
I'm not angry.
I'm okay. Go on.
I'm trying to understand what that meant because I'm not even angry. I don't know why you had to tell me you're messing with me.
No, because you said like I'm trying to come up. I'm not trying. I literally just said like you're trying to come up with a rational reason for your side. Your kind of argument, right? Your argument. You're trying to come up with a rational reason.
No.
And then you said no. You said no again. You're not trying to come up with a rational reason. So that's the joke that I'm trying to get at. Ugh.
Okay, do you want to discuss it or do you want to make jokes? I'm good with either, but if we want to discuss,
I was trying to explain the joke because you didn't get it. But go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Well, a joke in the middle of a debate when I'm trying to make a point doesn't really work. But whatever.
It does when it doesn't. Okay, go ahead.
I wasn't trying to make it rational to debate my point. Okay, what I'm trying to say is calling it incest is just factually incorrect. It's just That's it. It's just factually incorrect because he would literally have to be related. He would have had to have sex with someone to create them. Now, Rey is his granddaughter, or the new canon. She is his granddaughter because he had sex with someone to create a child. So to stretch it to say the manipulation of midichlorians means that he is stretching it. I'm saying it's just factually incorrect. That's not trying to support my argument. It's saying calling it incest is factually incorrect. Now, if you want to call it, if it was trying to support my argument, that's me saying then you shouldn't think it's weird. And I'm not saying you shouldn't think it's weird. You can think whatever you want.
I also
that's what it would be trying to support my argument. If I'm trying to convince you it's not weird. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to debunk the arguments to say why people want to say it's weird, meaning it's incest when it's factually incorrect. He's not incest.
And I explained already why I understand why people think that it's weird. And I understand why, but despite that, despite the incestual argument aside, I do think that there is, a portion of people who think that this is an abusive relationship. I get that. I totally understand that. And that you're not wrong to think that. And I don't think that you're wrong to say that, it's not this and that. So what I'm trying to say is that, I'm trying to understand all the sides of the argument. So I'm not trying to be antagonistic, but you know what I'm trying to say, right?
I understand. What I'm saying is I'm not creating headcanon to say it's incest like people are doing. I'm not creating headcanon by saying if we go by biology, which seems to work in Star Wars universe like it does in ours, that it's not incest because he's not.
You're harping on it too much.
No, you're asking me about it. So I'm bringing it up. You're countering me. So I'm going to talk about it. I'm not sure why you think I'm harping on it when I'm just saying that's factually incorrect. And you asked.
That's fine. But I also understand the other argument that is that the thing that really makes people upset is the abuse. That people bring up a lot.
Incest.
And I'm not here to argue, for Reylos or against Reylos. I feel like this is a complete waste of time. I feel like we're like arguing back and forth for no reason. Even though we're like.
I give Justin a lot of credit for coming on here tonight, like he did with the Jeremy stream. He likes to argue, be devil's advocate for different points of view. So he's just trying to explain the point of view, even though I think it's a fake offense, me personally. And that's my point of view. I think a lot of people in the community are doing it.
I don't
to be
think
fake
people
offended.
are like, I don't agree with that at all. But
well, that's
actually, you know what? I'll hear you out.
It creates buzz. It gets people talking. It gets fans in a fandom triggered that are treated unfairly. Let's be honest. It's just weird people. They take things to the extreme on all parts of fandom. And before shipping, before shipping, there were celebrity stalkers in the history of celebrities. So it's just they've just attached themselves to a fandom. We shouldn't create a blanket statement about all Reylos. A lot of it's just fun, and actually it's canon.
I do want to make the bottom line point because this is what I was trying to get at, and then this is what people have a hard time understanding. By labeling saying they're supporting incest is being abusive towards them, just trying to get negative connotation, saying like they're horrible people because they like incest is no different than SJWs saying if you don't like The Last Jedi, you're racist and misogynist. It's the same.
No. Incest aside. Let's put that. Let's assume that comic is not canon, like a lot of people came out a few days after The Last Jedi. Nonetheless, we've been talking about this so damn long that got the two confused. No, The Rise of Skywalker. They immediately said like, no, this isn't what you think it is. So let's just go back to the abusive relationship then. Like it is, somewhat. I understand. Like he just killed his father in front of her. He's been nothing but terrible to her. So I don't know. I want to know, like, I just want to take out the incest, I guess, from this kind of argument, please. Can we, yeah.
I'm not a Reylo. I don't care about the relationship.
I am.
It's not.
Man.
It's funny he says, being devil's advocate, because that's what I'm doing. I'm not defending the relationship.
I think the point of this conversation is, as we were trying to get to, is to discuss. Well, originally Max was talking about how he thinks people are being fake upset about it and they're being over dramatic about it. I would have to disagree with that, but we're going to try to get to that discussion.
Okay.
But I think overall we all have a reason for either liking it or disliking it. And for me personally, again, like I think everyone in this room understands, I guess I didn't realize that he was, is that, yeah, we're all going to have a different opinion on it. But I also think part of the discussion is that there's literally no reason to get upset about it.
Yeah.
And I can see there's really both, there's extreme sides of both. And I think what Lunga was trying to say is that Reylos have been called misogynistic. They've been called, and that's where we got on the topic of incest, is that they've been called to support, been told that they support incest. They've been called racist. They've been called a lot of things. They've become that they have mental illnesses.
So the fandom Menace should be sympathetic to them, because that's what they say. Why they keep calling us that?
Yeah, thank you.
I think a lot of people in the fandom Menace would actually agree with the sentence that you just said. Asaka.
Ren, you can call me Ren. That's fine. Yeah.
Oh, Ren. Okay.
Ren, yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, that makes it easy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why the parentheses are there. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people would agree with you. There's just that art of the debate that's there, that people we can agree, disagree, and it's totally fine. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very much in the fandom Menace. A lot of people can with especially with people who are in the fandom Menace or not in the fandom Menace, people for the most part really do, they can agree to disagree and just move on, and it's fun because why else would have Siskel and Ebert been successful? Like they are two Chicago guys who are movie reviewers who argue and then who debate about films. Sometimes they agree, they give 2 thumbs up. That's where it came from. And, that's part of the conversation. It's just like trying to understand another person's perspective of things. So, and I think the Phantom Menace is very perceptive of it. Even if they don't agree, at the end of the day, people understand where they're coming from.
I want to get to Geeky Candy's comment, and I appreciate Geeky Candy's in the conversation all the time. I don't recall large factions, the Grey War, the Phantom Menace, making all kinds of real-life threats to certain people like that either. They attract a lot of negative attention they got. You're talking about one instance that is a weirdo. Are they a weirdo because they're a Reylo? No, they're weirdo because they got.
Okay. I think I know. I think I know what she's talking about. She's talking about the data racer. He collected all these different groups of people, he usually does, collecting different groups of people who have been shouting all these different things, saying hey, this is a real thing, this is going on. And a lot of people did, send death threats to JJ. A lot of people were saying you're such a mean person. Why would you kill up Ben Solo, you bastard? And of course that movie theater showing, you remember that, right? You guys have seen that theater where everyone was crying out loud.
Yeah. Yep,
pathetic. I felt like I was watching a sorority screening. Jesus.
Hey. But still, I would have. Okay, it was cringe. Let's be real. It was cringe. And it does interrupt everybody else's viewing of that movie. But again, at the end of the day, if that's something that they're passionate about, and if that's something that they were excited to see, then I guess why the F not?
Not like that. Not like that. No. There are screenings. There are screenings like Endgame where everyone's excited about something. They're like, "Yay!" hooray. There's some things that are socially acceptable in a movie theater, some that are not, and some that are not going to go the way that you think. Like The Last Jedi. Like, we didn't expect it to go there. So, I get it. But that I think, does disrupt some sort of, just,
yeah, but on what
I would have hated to be a paying customer in that theater. I just want to enjoy a movie, and then all of these people are just, yelling and screaming about that. Like, we waited 4 years. Well, you know what? People waited 40 years. 40 years to see a satisfying conclusion to like a satisfying episode 7, a satisfying episode 8 and 9, a satisfying conclusion to all these characters that we grew up and loved. So 4 years versus 40. Fuck you. That's the side that I
not their fault. Like 40 years ago.
Why does the time have to do anything with it?
What
time? What does time have to do with it?
No, I mean, why does that trump what you wanted? They wanted
years of dedication, years of love for the frange versus some people who weren't even born during the time. It doesn't make them any less fans. I get that.
It doesn't make them any less fans.
Yeah,
I understand that. I totally understand that. But seriously, people who are just complaining like, oh, we waited 4 years for this. I'm like, seriously? Like, and you're worried about characters that you cared about for 4 years, yet people, characters who were ruined after 40 years of investment, they were ruined, and people were upset about that, and you were calling us racist and sexist? Like,
so you're calling them fragile? How long does it take for a fandom editor to get upset about something?
Max, hold on a second.
How long? Seriously?
Hold on a second.
I'm going on different points here.
Can I?
I'm talking about that video specifically
really been trying to get a word out. And
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I want to respect you, but from our previous argument and this one, you have not let me speak, and it's starting to make me feel like this is kind of planned to try to destroy my argument. No. So if you can please just give me a moment to speak. Yeah, Justin, because they haven't done that to me. So if you can please just give me a moment to speak, and I will definitely give you the same opportunities.
No, I just had a rant for that one video that really did piss me off
the entire time you've been on here, so you haven't really let many people get a word in. So that's
well. To be fair, I did invite him, and he is walking into a group with 4 people that have
right. And I'm just asking respectfully if I can just get a word.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
The point, okay, I know, but talking while I'm trying to say is not helping. The point I'm trying to make is that, again, on a human level, taking fandoms aside, what does any of this think that gives you a human right to just ridicule people and think it's okay to just treat people like shit just because you think they're weird or you don't like it or they're crying in a movie theater? You got to understand that at the end of the day, it is just being a shitty human being, and it is just ridiculing people just because, oh my god, they're so stupid. Well, you know what? I can easily ridicule, even though I am one of these people. I can literally ridicule you. You know what? You're crying about 40 years of waiting for a movie. Grow the fuck up. That's just as easily ridicule. But you know what? That's wrong to do. And that's what they used to do to Star Wars fans. And now you're doing it to other newer fans. And it's just a shitty way to act to people. You can disagree. You said at the beginning, you said like, well, we can say it's weird. That's our opinion. Yes, it is. But when you start saying, oh, shut the fuck up, you look like a bunch of sorority girls. That's pathetic. You're being insulting and you're just degrading people just because you don't like it. And that's
no. That's not it. That's not it. They decided to yell in a movie theater.
And you ridicule them.
I'm ridiculing that specific crowd. What's wrong with that? Would you like it if you interrupted somebody in the movie theater?
I don't ridicule people. I don't degrade people just for my own fucking enjoyment.
I don't either. That's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to enjoy a movie, and people are yelling.
You called them pathetic. You said they were a bunch of sorority girls, which is insulting to women who are in sororities to begin with. Okay,
no, you idiot. My sister's in a sorority. Fuck you. No, that's not it.
Okay,
no, I'm talking about that specific crowd. That specific crowd, and you're trying to think that it's generalizing it.
You want to debate me, and you wanted to talk over me, and that's what you wanted to do. And I'm seeing it now, and because I'm not stupid. And I could.
I'm not stupid either. I'm
Street Marvel.
And I'm perfectly glad to debate anyone on anything. But when you describe what you said and just want to blatantly say it's not ridiculing people, you're wrong. And then when you backtrack it and say, so what if I want to, that group of people I can, you just basically said it's okay to ridicule people just because they cried in a movie theater. And you think it's okay to treat people that way, which tells me everything I need to know about you as a human being.
What the fuck is wrong with you? No, that's not what I was saying. No, I think we got on a wrong. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. I think we got on the wrong pace here. Okay, the wrong track. Okay, so look, I didn't mean to personally insult you.
You didn't.
I didn't mean to. Okay, and I didn't mean to personally insult anybody in that crowd, but I think that their behavior, their reaction to that was a little bit too much.
I think it was a private
screening. Fandom Menace does is you say, I'm sorry, I offended you. You haven't offended me at all. You haven't. I'm not offended about anything. Nothing you said. By the way, everyone I'm defending right now is literally everything I'm not. I am not a Reylo. I don't cry like that in movie theaters. I do get annoyed if people get too loud in theaters, even if they're cheering like your ass might have done. Okay. I get annoyed by that if I'm trying to watch a movie. Now, with that being said, I will defend humankind. I will defend if you're treating people like shit, be it a Star Wars movie, be it in any other kind of fucking place at a time. And if you just think it's okay to treat people this way, and it's a pattern, it happens online a lot. You talk about how these Reylos are threatening people, and it's a handful of people. I could see maybe 15, 20 tweets. When I could name about 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 tweets of Phantom Menace people I've seen going after people and just being ignorant and rude to people. So it's a hypocritical, okay? And when you want to just say that it's okay to ridicule people, we're not getting off on any wrong foot. That's what you said. Okay. You said it's okay to ridicule people if you feel like it. And your answer is because we've waited 40 years for a movie. That's justifiable reason for you. I get it. And that's
I'm just saying no, that's not what I'm saying, because you're listening to me, but you're not hearing me. Okay.
Oh, no, I hear what you're saying.
No, you don't. You hear what you want to hear.
You're hearing me, but you're not listening is the correct phrase. But go ahead.
That's what I just said about you.
You're not hearing, but go ahead.
Vashti, did you want to say
we're not gonna get anywhere here. I don't think.
Well, if you feel that way, it's you're right to go. I'm not saying I invited you on just for a chill conversation, but if I think you intended for a chill conversation too, Justin.
Conversation.
He has. I know him more than you do. It's his personality. He likes to do little sarcasm jokes,
and that's fine. That's fine. And I'm saying I'm open for civil conversation, and I'm not saying he has to leave, and I'm not going to leave. I'm perfectly fine.
No, I mean that I don't want any we're not gonna say anything about you if you want to go, but this isn't what I wanted to do tonight. So whatever you feel, you stay, or whatever's up to you. I will say this: the way that and I'm not saying you personally, a way that some in the Menace have been saying about Reylos is exactly they're doing the Campia thing. Campia said cousin humping and put blanket statements on people that were upset with Rey being a Mary Sue character. I'm not saying she definitely is, but that's what they're doing to Reylos now.
Can I also just say, Wanderer has a great point, that we have gotten so far off topic.
Okay.
And I think Vashti has been trying to say something for a really
long time. Vashti.
So Justin,
yeah.
No, go ahead, please.
No, Justin, I value you for coming on the show. I don't want you to be, so whatever.
I wanted to hear what she had to say.
Sure. Okay.
I will just be fully transparent because I get where you're coming from, and I do get the cynicism, as especially being a tenured Star Wars fan, and the I don't know, the dissonance, the cognitive dissonance for people who really just haven't invested as much time, or as much research into the lore, and for them to be just this out flooding of emotion, and it really just kind of derailing the whole experience. I totally get it. I qualify as one of the exact people that you are essentially describing, and I've only been involved in Star Wars for about 7 years, and it was really The Force Awakens that kind of made me fall in love with the franchise all over again. And before that, The only experience that I had had with Star Wars was a 12-hour like marathon and like a hokey ass movie theater back in my hometown where they just showed the entire prequel trilogy all in one sitting. That was my entire knowledge. But Force Awakens was enough to make me spend hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars in the comics and the books. I have built numerous like bounty hunter cosplays. I am a Twi'lek like 25% of the year and have been for every premiere. And I was one of those people that when that kiss happened and when the infamous thigh grab in Last Jedi happened, that screamed and cried and wept and was immediately embarrassed because I potentially had ruined it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter where you got in because, again, this is for kids. So it's just like if it taps into your inner child so much that you have to emote that way, just as much as the people who are like ruining the experience for people have to kind of hold themselves accountable. Those who have been in the fandom for as long as they have to hold the same space. So it's just like, I get it, but it's just like, I just don't think it's fair. And this is kind of like why I love Grey Order in the first place, that we're gonna tone police people's enthusiasm about the fandom and really try to rank disappointments per trilogy. I think it's ridiculous because it's just like if we shut down their enthusiasm and their energy and their investment in this sequel trilogy, then we can pretty much guarantee that we're going to dwarf in one fashion or another any interest in any parallel relationship, character arc, thematics that happen in the EU or any of the other expansive parts of the Star Wars universe. That's all I was trying to say. Was it's just like, I get it, but it's just like we're all fans at the end of the day. We're all spending our own money, you know what I'm saying, to be here. And it's like, and like my father's 70, he's like 76, you know what I'm saying? Like he's invested a lot of time, but he doesn't, judge me for being just as in love with, Kylo Ren and the villain, and having that same identity and that same representation to that emotional complexity as he did when he heard James Earl Jones' voice for the first time coming out of that Vader mask. Like, it's just like, it does, if it gets you, it gets you. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter like how long, it just needs to grab you. And that should be the big, that should just be it. That should be the end game for the fandom. It doesn't matter
like if people like Jar Jar or not.
Yeah, no. And it's just like, and I could be totally wrong. I'm trying to be as diplomatic about this as possible.
I think it's accurate. Yeah.
I think that was really well said.
Yeah, but and I didn't say it as well as I would have liked to have, but what I was trying to get at, and I think where Darth Daddy Lunga, I'm sorry, you're a Gray Jedi Order. Like, what's your channel name?
Mine?
No.
Lunga.
Lunga.
Gray Council.
Okay, yeah. So what I was trying to get at with you, man, is that you can't. That the whole thing that I was very passionate about is that if these kind of people are the same kind of people, and that was kind of advertised as that, and that I saw Matt Jarbo's comment saying like the story I heard about the screening was that the girls had either rented out the auditorium or they had it all to themselves, and it wasn't very big and it looked like a very small theater. Okay, that's one thing, but I'm just saying that if I was a patron, if I was a customer in that theater, I would be kind of pissed off if a bunch of people, rudely interrupted the screening. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about, and that's where I thought that I wasn't heard there. That's when I said, you're listening, but you're not hearing. That's what I thought that you didn't quite get.
I think where the
No, I heard all that. Like here's a way of saying, you know what? I went to this movie theater and people started crying. Man, it pissed me off. I really wish I could have watched the movie. But once you start saying they were pathetic, they were like a bunch of sorority girls, you're degrading them.
Not him personally, but
angry. It's not about being angry anymore about them interrupting. It's about that I'm angry, so I'm going to hit back by insulting them and making rash judgments about them just because I'm angry. That's the difference. You heard what you said, and there's no problem with being upset that they interrupted your movie. Okay, because if I heard you hooping and hollering at a scene you like it, I'd be angry at you for interrupting my movie. That's perfectly valid excuse. But I wouldn't sit here and say, oh my God, you're a pathetic nerd. Why are you cheering in the background? I'm trying to watch a movie. See the difference there?
The difference is that I don't really necessarily what I don't consider is the inconsideration of other people in that regard. But, it's just like, just on the surface, that's just what I'm reacting to on the surface. And just like, this is I'm reacting to it like it's, a bunch of people in a theater. And I have every right to criticize, rude people in a theater. I don't
definitely
like that.
have right. And in my opinion, if that were me, I would have been super, maybe slightly annoyed depending on what the movie is. But I think especially what the conversation is supposed to be, it just seems like in this moment, kind of a petty thing to really get upset about. Again, just in this moment and in this conversation, when we're trying to focus on something else. And I think that's where the miscommunication came across. And then this is the first time that we've all spoken with each other as a group as well. And we definitely all have very different ways of discussing, and that can also be a cause of miscommunication where you don't necessarily know what the other person's intention is. So I don't think I guess what I got from it is you felt like you weren't being heard, and I think that again is just a case of miscommunication between you and Lunga, but I don't think there was any foul, ill.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, not at all. I haven't, that's no. I'm just, stating that no one's saying you don't have a right to feel however you want. You have a right to feel however you want to feel. But when we got to balance is if if you can make these judgmental statements about them and saying they're this, they're that, but it seems like when we're talking about, which is the thing about outrage, fake outrage, the fandom menace gets upset and their whole reason is we were called misogynist, we were called racist. That's unfair, and that's where this outrage came from, was being called that. But then they feel it's okay to, well, I'm just expressing my opinion by calling people retards. I'm just expending my opinion by calling people.
I didn't call anybody that.
No, not you. No, not you. No. He's saying in general. He's just saying in general.
No, but I understand where this broad brush is being painted, and I'm not okay with that.
No.
But you're seeing the same broad brush with these people in the
if you want an example, Mary Mayhem the other day in the comment section was saying stuff about Reylos. Right away, if you want an example.
I'm actually curious. If anyone in the comment, anyone in the live,
Jeremy, if it comes from the top to the bottom.
I have to get up very early tomorrow. Sure. Look, I had a great conversation and everything, but I got to get going. Matt Max, it was great to be on. Everyone, it was very great. To be on.
Give Justin
but in all fairness, though, I think especially with Grey Council, we're gonna agree to disagree, and the hostility, I think it's all good. It's all good. We can agree to disagree. At the end of the day, I will see you at Star Wars Celebration. I will shake your hand, and we can talk about all of the things that we love about Star Wars, like how hilarious it was, how like how Jar Jar is seen back then, how we do now, and we will we'll have a drink together and we'll have a good time, man.
And I will do that. But you know what? There's no hostility on my end. The condescension on your voice is apparent, but there's no hostility on my end. I'm not angry with you at all. I'm just presenting facts, and you're getting angry about those facts. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Facts don't care about your feelings either.
But I'm not angry though. I'm
not angry either.
No, but you're talking about my feelings, and what am I doing if I didn't do anything? I haven't gotten angry about anything.
Okay, well, I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it. Justin, thank you for coming on. I'll have you on again. I'll talk to you. I'll come on your show if you want. I'll return.
Absolutely.
I agree. You came on. You're outnumbered. I don't think his intention was to be that way. or like I agree with Osaka Ran. I think it was just.
I feel like there's a lot of
preconceptions
about me that were, and
I don't,
you know,
I've
never seen
mad respect, but
times. So I'm like, okay, well, Max likes him, so let's see who he is. I don't know you at all.
Sure. So I know you.
All right, have a good one. Have a good one, guys. Yeah, you have a great night.
You too.
Bye.
He accidentally muted himself, but I give him respect for coming on. We have because he's 1 against 4, really, because there's no fandom menacers here, so he represents his fandom menace. He is someone that has been willing to have conversations in the past,
and that's fine. I have no problem with the conversation, but he obviously wasn't letting me have a conversation. So
I see your point too. I do. I see it.
I mean, I know I'm becoming a bit of a target. I know I am, and people want to say challenge Lungo. And
actually, I saw a comment earlier that can I find it again?
And again, I'll repeat, I have no problem with him. I'm presenting the facts, and he keeps bringing feelings.
The only reason I think he didn't. I kind of feel at the end it was my fault to bring up other people's names, but then he said the broad brush argument, and I could name a lot of times that they attacked Reylos, and I was going to name them all, and that's where he kind of stopped me. I'm not saying that's why he left, but I'm just saying the broad brush argument.
But there's no. I mean, he was. I wasn't. Everyone obviously knew. I wasn't saying he said that, but he assuming is. So if someone's in their feelings, it's not me. I'm sorry, but there's no. You can't offend me because I'm not a Reylo. None of this. It doesn't matter to me. So I don't know how I can be mad, but sure.
Well, props to him for coming on. I'll come on his show if he wants to return the favor. So, all right. Wow, we are off track. I thought this was going to be more. I really did think it was going to be more chill. I didn't want to get these ladies the first time on my channel to get into, but he's still a good guy. We do definitely have difference of opinion. So I mean,
and you know what? There's one thing that I have noticed, and again, I don't want to generalize between the Grey Order and the Phantom Menace. Is that I feel like a lot of people. Well, the Phantom Menace is called the Phantom Menace for. The Phantom Menace is called the Phantom Menace for a reason. And I think there's a lot of passion in their discussions, just a lot of passion. Right? And I think the Grey Order is a lot of times just focused on that those neutral conversations. And I just can't really deliver that passion back, I can't really respond to. It's difficult for me, so I can't get a set or
I can. I'm passionate about Star Wars, and I can be passionate, But the thing is that if we're having a debate and we're trying to be rational, okay, and like when you're debating things in the movie, then you can be passionate because, no, I think this character should have this and this and this, and that's where you get passionate, okay. But if we're talking about how you treat human beings, we're talking about how you treat other fans. We're not talking about the movie anymore. Right. So that's passionate discussion anymore for me. Now, this is the pragmatic, rational discussion that I got to have. And when you start talking about but I've been waiting 40 years to see this movie. Okay. What does that have to do with you treating people shitty?
It doesn't matter if you waited.
I'm going to be laughing. I'm not laughing.
I know.
I'm laughing.
It's how you funny.
I get it. Matter. What does the length?
I've been waiting 40 years for this movie. I'm 45 years old. I've been waiting that long for it too. I don't know.
I've been waiting since the pre.
What's the goalpost?
All of us have been waiting for something. All of us have literally been waiting for Star Wars, and I understand that people like the older generation is going to feel more protective over it. I mean, like Bashi put it incredibly well. It's just, well, then what am I supposed to do? What are younger members of the fandom supposed to do? Are we just going to sit there and be like, okay, well, fuck me then. I guess I don't like Star Wars. I'll just sit on the aisle and watch the movie.
Oh, we got the B-level crowd coming in now. I'm horrible to younger fans because I got B-levels clips in the beginning. I still haven't said anything to anyone.
So he said something interesting earlier. He said that you antagonize younger fans, but I could just personally disagree. I mean, maybe you do, but every single conversation that I've had with him has been incredibly supportive of all fans. He really defends I'm a younger fan. I am, and people probably laugh at me for it. But I don't know, bud. I don't really see your opinion there. But okay.
I mean, this is where it comes from. Again, I have not spoken this Council in Exile thing. I haven't spoken to anyone from it except B Level. I've not had any interactions with any of them except B Level. Now B Level is a younger fan, I guess you could say. He started I told you the story at the beginning of what started this. He started talking shit about me. I took exception with that. That has nothing to do with the fandom anymore. You are attacking me on a personal level. I have a problem with that. And I combated it, and he didn't like the response. He called everyone idiots, and I don't respect any of you. So I used that clip at the beginning of my videos, and he's upset by it because I'm holding his voice hostage. Now, again, I don't know how I don't respect younger fans when I have not spoken to any of them, except him in that one debate. That's it. So I don't know where they think this comes from. And supposedly in one of my live streams for Overwatch, I had if anyone's familiar
I don't even know.
So you guys are laughing, so you know what a squeaker is, right? So there was a squeaker in my Overwatch game who was talking shit, and I pretty much told him, you know what, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear from you. And he kept going. I'm like, shut up, dude. Just play the game. I don't want to hear from you. Just shut up. Just shut up. I don't give a shit what you have to say. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. So I promote bullying because I told the squeaker to shut up. But yeah, so but that's not has to do with the younger fans because the squeaker was a squeaker on Overwatch. It hasn't to do with Star Wars.
Hi,
but,
Firewater.
Hey, Firewater.
Firewater.
Did you just join? You missed the best part.
Oh yeah, you did.
Well, I want you ladies on anytime. You alone, you can just run the show. As a matter of fact,
you know what?
well, my job was easy tonight.
Yeah.
Your lighting sometimes lines up perfectly with your glasses and your eyes, so it looks like your irises are just like glowing really brightly.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh.
Your lighting. It lines up with your glasses sometimes.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I think we got some new stars on YouTube today. And the last week with Vashti and Asaka Ren, they are really willing to have the good hard conversations. They handled it great tonight. So go sub to both of them.
I'm going to tell you, especially to handle it great. I'll tell you why. Because I can guarantee you a lot of things he was saying was probably upsetting Vashti more than it upset me. Because she was really of the people he was talking about. So give her a lot of credit for for
being
very
stoic.
Look, y'all, like I'm just gonna keep it like 100. Like I'm a hood rat bitch. Like I'm loud. Like I'm like, you know, like I get excited. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a blurred. I'm a black nerd. Like we fan differently. So it's just like I'm used to being criticized for the way that I get down and like for things not being as canon or as up to par, and like my clout and my knowledge isn't where it should be. But the thing is, it's just like I am obsessed with Star Wars, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like that obsession is not going to go away. Like my opinions are not going to become any less obnoxious. So it's just like y'all can either get on my level, you know what I'm saying, and keep that same energy, because that's what I'm gonna bring, you know, and is a type of enthusiasm that I really feel like the fandom doesn't have, because that's what the younger audience has. That's what all the new heads have. My nieces and nephews are Star Wars fans, and they literally came in at the perfect time where there's a ton of like feminine representation and women are some of the strongest characters in Star Wars, and they school me on all of the new like Disney like canon, and it's just like it's a beautiful thing. So it's just like if people can't handle that because they want to fucking gatekeep this fandom, you know, because they can't evolve with, you know, the new target audience for Disney.
Manga is beautiful.
Too bad. So
that's not happening. I'm afraid of Kitten.
They were the real enemy to lovers.
Huh?
Said ship Lungs and Max, and I said they were the real enemies to lovers.
You know, and I'm comfortable with my sexuality, so I don't care.
Wait, what? Why are we talking about sexuality?
You missed it. They said ships. Yeah, right there.
No, I don't want to mess with Kitten. Kitten's got claws. I'm staying away from Daddy.
I'm comfortable. I mean, I could, I'm like, I've done it with other people before. I mean, I'm straight. I'm not gay. I'm not gay. But you know what? Just like in Supernatural, when they were shipping Dean and
Yeah.
Roz, and they put all the pictures together. Like, I don't give a fuck. Who cares?
Yeah.
Okay, Ruthie's a friend. I saw the title, and that's not true because not every single person will get offended. Hey, you value different opinions. My opinion is that just like there's fake rage, there's fake offended for videos, views, and clicks.
Oh, people try to. Oh, okay. Now I see. I totally just got what you're trying to say right in this moment.
After this
Totally did. Yes, I totally got it right now. At first, I didn't understand. I was like,
they
why
don't
are
really.
people-
My opinion is that they are not really offended.
In terms of YouTube videos.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. See, I was missing the YouTube video
The
connection,
connection.
earlier,
Okay.
and I was like, well, why would they fake being offended?
Because they keep bringing it up. They just won't let it go,
Oh, no,
even
I do get
after.
that.
Even after the Rise of Skywalker's done, the sequel trilogy's done. Reylos are weird. They're toxic. They say Reylos are toxic. They say.
Yeah, I mean, again, the whole thing is that the Phantom Menace literally started because they felt attacked by people saying that they,
Right. So they're doing it to them.
And in the beginning, there were people like me. I did not like the way Luke was treated in The Last Jedi. I did not like a lot of the writing choices and a lot of the character choices.
You're missing the XD.
Right.
I'm not,
I'm a dinosaur.
But at the same
So
time, just because I don't like it, it doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and cry. And I had people calling me racist and misogynist because I didn't like. I'm like, no, not true. I just
so that's not something. And if there is someone actually in the comments who could maybe try to explain why anti Reylos think or are super convinced that Reylos are misogynistic and racist, I would actually like to hear that opinion because I never necessarily it's not
because they
something that
condone abusive relationships.
Okay,
Right.
I have to address this now. They're twisting my arm to comment between two friends because they're both my friends, and now I gotta. Anyway, we're out. But Max, you should stop supporting people who encourage harassment of younger fans, dude.
That's, again,
Yeah. I think it's very little there, and you're just in the sound clip just calling other people idiots, and you stand by those words. And he's using the clip at the beginning to kind of prove a point too. So, hey, I can't tell him what to do, and I'm not going to stop talking to him, and I'm not going to stop talking to you, Ewoks Unhinged. So I can't solve your problem. I'm supporting having differences of opinion by having everyone on my channel. I think what he's done for the fandom has outweighed anything else. I don't say I disagree with him using it either. It's his right. I said I honestly said I don't think it's worth it anymore because you guys are going hard at him. But whatever, it's his decision.
Star Wars only has Dark Snovi at the beginning.
Yeah, and I think it's funny.
Guess what?
I talked to Dark Sinovia too.
You're not allowed to Ewoks Unhinged. I didn't want to come on Ewoks Unhinged unless he means Max.
Oh God,
I'm as bad as Jeremy. I'm the new Jeremy. Welcome to the video.
I actually think if you guys, if they've moved on from this, you could actually have some conversations, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
By the way, Tyler Durden is he's a troll. That's it's the name of Tyler. It's the guy who did Picard.
Yeah.
Just so you know, in case you haven't noticed, it's Picard. And Deckard and the Ninja Turtles and whichever other one else you want to know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Well, this was a constructive conversation. Thank you.
I do that.
Yeah. I think we should end it here. Check out Stream Junkies on Bosch's channel, right?
Yeah.
That's me. I'm Boshti. It's on my channel.
So smash the hell out of her channel.
Yes.
And smash the bell so you are ready when her episode of Stream Junkies comes out this Saturday. And what are we watching? We're watching episode Clone Wars 3, 4, and 5, and The Irishman.
No.
Sokka Ren is ahead of us because she already watched it. So if you want to be in on the conversation, do your homework, binge buddies.
Firewater.
Get binging, buddies. Get binging.
The fans are binge buddies. Firewater. You guys are the binge buddies.
And I might be on. Oh wait, I don't know. Lunga's channel tomorrow. I'm getting a little tired too. Sorry. For Sci-Fi Mondays, even if I just pop in for a little bit, even if he doesn't want me on the show, I'll be in the comments section modding. So check out Sci-Fi Mondays.
Hey, we didn't karaoke.
What?
You didn't. You didn't.
I
was about to. No, for a second, I was actually just about to like start screaming and just be like, "Let it go!" like really loudly. That was like, That you'll notice if we're ever in like awkward conversations like that, I might just do it. I'm conflict. Yeah. Try to avoid conflicts like a proper Minnesotan.
Bernie, what?
Hey,
we're no politics here. We're no politics. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I know some other Reylos that I want to work with is the Girls with Sabers.
Oh my gosh, I would love.
Yes! Oh my god, I love them so much. Yes.
So I've reached out to them before, and I said, "Can I come on your show?" And they're like, if you behave." They're kind of like afraid of this man.
No, so send them actually send them this link. Like literally just be like, "Hey, can you watch this?"
No, okay, so y'all, I love them so much. And I am ready. If you get it, it's fine because I already have kind of like read a lot of their essays. And I have a lot of counterpoints for as far as like the different like character archetypes, like the parallels between like all the Austinian literature.
And they dig deep into mythology and a lot of their
Greek mythology. Like I am devout. Like I absolutely love their channel, and I got
Yova Rhodes. Yova Rhodes can help us. Yova Rhodes is a big supporter of Girls with Sabers, or Reylo, and I think Yova Rhodes is possibly even a mod for them. So tell them we want them on the show. Longa, you could come too if you want. It's interesting to get another perspective, and maybe we can get them to go gray. I don't know.
I don't know. Like I just think that their approach to it is just really interesting. They go for it more like in a video essay kind of, and there's a ton of research, and I mean it is very lengthy, so like pack a lunch, but Max,
like Star Wars Only's documentaries and stuff where he talks about
You know what would be I think not obviously tonight anymore, but I think a really fun topic would be so many YouTube channels focus a lot on theories, and they'll watch the movies and they'll dig really deep into it. But then you'll have counter arguments that the people writing the movies don't honestly know that much about Star Wars theory. So it almost makes the theories that people are looking into invalid. And I think that would be a great discussion.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We could try to accommodate either here or on Longo's or on one of your channels. We'll work it out. Yova Rods, I'm sorry, said we got it. He's going to try.
Nice.
So,
and everybody go follow the Stream Junkies Twitter. It exists. It's a thing. It doesn't have
Stream _Junkies.
That's it.
Matt, I'm not letting you on this thing. Hell no. It's not happening, Matt.
Nick, also share the screen.
Oh, sorry.
Share the screen. Because look, it's queued up.
No.
Oh, no.
You're gonna long now. I know no one's. I know. I hope I didn't disappoint. I am not joining a karaoke session on my channel. I'm
in the last 30 seconds.
No shame to you guys. I don't sing. You don't want this madman sing. My wife doesn't like me to sing. I love music. I don't sing.
No, don't change it to a dislike relapse. Only.
Wait, with a dislike relapse.
What? Okay.
No,
don't do it.
I was this close to ending stream and broadcast.
That would have actually been
this
really
close. I thought it would be funny, and it's actually what I wanted to do.
He's like, that's the mic cutting me.
All right, so 2 hours, man, Longa. Actually, it wasn't your fault this time. I don't think.
No, it wasn't mine at all.
But I think we should end it here. Sci-Fi Mondays tomorrow. My channel for Movie Madness all week long, and then Stream Junkies with all of us this Saturday on Blashy's channel. So go subscribe now.
Yeah,
you're ready.
Follow me.
Yes,
I do stuff.
I do stuff.
All right, bye. Say bye. I'm ending it.
Bye. Bye. Mwah, mwah.